And so I think it's bad, it's escalated, but I do think that people need to keep this in a historical perspective, that this is one small blip in American history, and it's bad right now, but be careful the type of language you use to describe it.
Ford, and then we'll do one fast, quick question, burning question from the audience.
Yeah, I mean, I quickly will just say, I've heard some objections in kind of the academic world that studies this subject to the term extremism to describe this. So, you know, January 6th, someone could define as, oh, this was a conglomeration of different extremists who came together and stormed the Capitol. The fundamental guiding belief that caused them all to do that was that they believed that the election was stolen. If you fundamentally thought that American democracy was crumbling, you might do something pretty extreme as well. Again, right now, the second largest party is the Republican Party in the United States, and about 3/4 of Republicans currently believe that. So I have a hesitation to actually use the label of extremist to describe any particular ideology. I would say that rather than extremism is on the rise, the sort of binary that the media and politicians have created for us of left and right, their realities are more divergent. There is a more extreme divergence of reality in this country. And so while I hesitate to label individual people, you're an extremist, you're all extreme, you know, whatever, I would just say there's a more extreme division of reality, and I think that probably comes to another breaking point in the next couple of years.
One burning audience question. Please, Dick.
Darren Pollock from LP Texas. Darren Pollock from LP Texas, and I just wanted to ask both of you, since you've been to a lot of protests in the U.S., do you see any involvement that you've noticed from like agent provocateurs at all, maybe from the federal side or anything like that? I mean, you guys have seen a lot of them. I'm just curious if you think that that's been the case. I
have one story, and I can't believe I have that one story. He was talking about the Million MAGA March earlier, and I went to the Million MAGA March as well. I was there when people were stabbed. It was pretty bad. That was when I got maced by a Proud Boy. The Proud Boys, and I know there are some people who are sympathetic to them. I see them as just a fight club. They're a bunch of hooligans who go around and look for fights. And that day, I saw a lot of, let's say, slow actions from police to do something to stop violence. They eventually stepped in, but I was very disappointed as somebody who's, you know, a DMV local about the police response. And later, there was a story that broke that one of the people, I believe it was a police captain, was actually communicating the location of counter-protesters to the Proud Boys, telling them where they were in advance. Oh, they're at this part of the city. Oh, they're at this part of the city. Was he a provocateur? I don't know. But that type of communication between individual police officers and what I would call a fight club, extremist group, whatever you want to call it, is dangerous, and it upset me because that was the person who was hired and paid to protect people who live in the community like me. And so it was very strange to see them directly help the people who really weren't from DC, weren't from the DMV. A lot of them were from states around Maryland, but they weren't from the community. And so that was the one instance I could say. But I haven't, on January 6th, I didn't see any clear FBI agents coordinating anything like that. There have been a few conspiracy theories about me doing things on January 6th because I was wearing the Biden hoodie. But that's the only instance I can think that even somewhat relates to what you asked.
I think that there's a tendency of people sometimes to try to find a solution that kind of fits their worldview. So if you're someone who is on the MAGA side, you've probably never experienced before January 6th the narrative that says MAGA fighting police, right? That is not something that traditionally defined the Trump era. It basically just didn't happen very much.